My friends, we live in a time of great noise. Voices cry out from every corner, on our screens, in our feeds, from our devices, and through our headlines. Some voices call us to anger, others to confusion, and many to deception. But what if a voice rose above the chaos? What if a single speech shattered the illusions and changed the world? Today I want to talk about a message so powerful, so undeniable, that it could break the internet, not through controversy, but through truth. The power of words. The Bible says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, Proverbs 18:21. And my friends, in this digital age, those words have never been truer. A single speech, a single post, a single video can reach millions in moments. But what are we saying? What are we sharing? Are we spreading love, or are we fueling division? Are we shining light, or are we adding to the darkness? A girl lost in depression. Every day we are bombarded with half-truths, twisted facts, and hidden agendas. We are told what to believe, who to hate, and what to fear. But let me ask you, who is speaking truth? The speech that would break the internet would not be one filled with empty promises or political slogans. It would not be fueled by manipulation. It would be a speech that calls us back to what is real, what is good, and what is eternal. Our responsibility in the digital age. My friends, the internet is not the enemy. Social media is not the problem. We are the problem. We are the ones who consume, who share, who amplify. We are responsible for what we allow into our minds and hearts. If a speech were to break the internet, let it be a message of love over hatred, wisdom over foolishness, and truth over deception. The message that changes lives. What if the speech that broke the internet was a message of unity, a message that called people to something greater than themselves, a message that reminded us that we were created for more than just likes, comments, and shares? What if it was a message that reminded us of our worth, not because of our status, our wealth, or our influence, but because we are children of God? A call to action. My friends, the world is watching. Every post, every comment, every speech we engage with matter. And so today I challenge you, speak words that heal, not harm. Share messages that unite, not divide. Seek truth, not fleeting trends. Because when a speech breaks the internet, it should not break our morality. It should not break our spirit. It should wake us up. And so I leave you with this. Let your words be a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope, and a testimony of truth. Because that, my friends, is the speech that will not only break the internet, it will change the world. Amen. Words are among the most powerful forces on earth from the beginning of time. They have shaped civilizations, sparked revolutions, and transformed lives. A single sentence can inspire a generation, while another can bring ruin. The power of words is not just in their sound, but in their meaning, their intent, and their impact. Throughout history, great leaders, teachers, and prophets have understood the weight of their words. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of a dream, and that dream still echoes in the hearts of those who long for justice. Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address in just a few minutes, yet his words still define the ideals of freedom and equality. Jesus Christ spoke words that continue to change lives centuries later. The influence of words is not measured by the volume of the voice, but by the truth it carries. In today's digital age, words travel further and faster than ever before. A speech can be broadcasted to millions in real time. A message can go viral overnight, and a single tweet can alter the course of events. This amplifies both the potential and the danger of communication. When words are used with wisdom, they can heal, uplift, and guide people toward a greater purpose. But when words are used recklessly, they can sow division, fuel hatred, and mislead countless souls. The responsibility of speech is something we must all take seriously. The internet has given everyone a platform, but not every voice speaks with wisdom. There are those who manipulate words to deceive, those who use them to incite fear, and those who exploit emotions for their own gain. In contrast, those who speak with integrity, humility, and love have the power to bring about true and lasting change. The question we must ask ourselves is this: are we using our words for good? Each time we speak, post, or share something online, we contribute to the world's narrative. Are we adding to the noise, or are we bringing clarity? Are we spreading light, or are we fueling darkness? Words shape minds, and minds shape actions. A kind word can restore hope to someone on the brink of despair. A cruel remark can break a spirit that was already struggling. Encouragement can inspire a person to reach their full potential, while discouragement can cripple them with doubt. We may never know the full impact of what we say, but that does not lessen our responsibility. To understand the true power of words, we must turn to wisdom. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." This is not just poetic language, it is reality. Words can give life by instilling faith, wisdom, and love. They can also bring death through lies, gossip, and malice. The choice is ours. A speech that breaks the internet should not be one filled with anger or controversy, but one that awakens people to truth. It should call them to something greater. When words are guided by purpose, love, and righteousness, they can move mountains, transform hearts, and change the world. We are living in an age unlike any before. Never in history has information traveled so quickly, reached so many, or influenced so profoundly as it does today. The internet has transformed the way we communicate, making the spoken and written word more powerful than ever. A message once limited to a room of listeners can now be shared across continents in seconds. A speech delivered on one side of the world can impact hearts and minds on the other side before the speaker even leaves the stage. This immense power brings both opportunity and responsibility. The internet is more than just a tool. It is a force that shapes cultures, perceptions, and beliefs. Every video, article, and speech has the potential to inspire or mislead, to unite or divide, to build up or tear down. It is a magnifying glass that amplifies both wisdom and foolishness. A single post can ignite movements for justice, while another can spread misinformation that causes harm. This dual nature of influence requires discernment, for what we consume, believe, and share shapes the world around us. The question is no longer whether voices will be heard, it is which voices will be the loudest. The digital world does not filter truth from falsehood, it simply amplifies what is most engaging. Sometimes the loudest voices are the ones that manipulate emotions, spread fear, or promote sensationalism. Other times, voices of wisdom and integrity rise above the noise, bringing clarity, truth, and purpose. The difference is not in the volume, but in the message. Words spoken with sincerity and truth have a power that outlasts trends and controversies. In the midst of this digital revolution, people are searching for meaning. Despite the vast access to information, many feel more lost than ever. The endless stream of content does not always lead to wisdom. Often it leads to confusion. With so many opinions, so many voices, so many conflicting messages, people long for something real, something lasting. This is why a speech that truly breaks the internet must be one that cuts through the noise, not by being the loudest, but by speaking truth that resonates beyond momentary trends. Those who use their voice wisely in the digital age understand that influence is not about going viral, but about speaking life into a world hungry for meaning. The greatest impact comes not from empty rhetoric, but from words that challenge, uplift, and guide others toward what is right. Whether through a speech, a post, or a conversation, every word has the potential to either add to the chaos or bring clarity. This generation has been given an unprecedented platform. What we do with it will define not just our time, but the future. The internet may carry words across the world, but it is the substance of those words that determines whether they will be remembered. Influence without purpose is fleeting, but influence used for truth and righteousness will leave a legacy that outlasts the digital age. Truth and deception have always been at war, but never before have lies traveled so quickly or misinformation spread so widely. The internet has become a battleground where truth competes against deception, and many struggle to discern the difference. Every day, millions of people are confronted with conflicting narratives, manipulated facts, and voices that claim authority without accountability. In an era where information is available at the touch of a button, the challenge is not in accessing knowledge, but in distinguishing what is real from what is false. Lies are not always obvious. They are often wrapped in half-truths, designed to appeal to emotions rather than reason. Some deceptions are intentional, crafted to manipulate and control. Others spread simply because people accept what aligns with their beliefs without questioning its validity. The greatest danger is not just in the existence of falsehoods, but in how easily they are embraced. Many people no longer seek truth. They seek confirmation of what they already want to believe. When truth becomes secondary to convenience, deception thrives. The consequences of deception are profound. False narratives divide families, communities, and entire nations. They lead to fear, confusion, and distrust. People who build their lives on deception eventually find that it crumbles beneath them. Societies that reject truth for the sake of comfort or control eventually collapse under the weight of their own corruption. Throughout history, the downfall of great civilizations was often preceded by the rejection of truth. When people turn away from what is real in favor of what is convenient or emotionally satisfying, the foundation of wisdom is lost. Yet, despite the flood of misinformation, truth remains unshaken. It may be challenged, suppressed, or ignored, but it never ceases to be. The truth does not need to be defended by deception because it stands on its own. Unlike lies which constantly need new fabrications to sustain them, the truth remains constant. It does not change based on trends, popularity, or opinion. It is not created by human perception, but exists beyond it. Those who seek it with sincerity will find it, but those who reject it will wander in confusion. In this digital age, there is a responsibility to seek truth, to test information, and to resist the temptation to accept what is easy over what is right. Wisdom is not gained by consuming endless streams of content, but by carefully discerning what aligns with reality. People must develop the discipline to ask questions, to challenge narratives, and to recognize when something is being presented not to inform, but to manipulate. A speech that breaks the internet must be one that pierces through deception and speaks truth with boldness. It must not cater to what is popular, but stand firm in what is real. In a world that often values perception over reality, those who stand for truth may not always be celebrated, but they will always be needed. Because in the end, deception will always fade, but truth will endure forever. Every word we speak, every message we share, and every idea we spread carries weight. In this digital era, where our words can reach millions in an instant, the responsibility of communication has never been greater. The internet has given everyone a platform, but with that platform comes accountability. What we say matters. What we share influences. What we endorse shapes the minds of those who listen. The question is, are we using this power with integrity, wisdom, and moral responsibility? Too often, people speak without thinking, post without considering, and share without verifying. Words are thrown carelessly into the world, without regard for the consequences. But the truth remains. Words have the power to build or destroy, to heal or to wound, to enlighten or to deceive. Every argument that divides, every lie that misleads, and every hateful comment that wounds is a reminder that speech is not just an expression of thought, it is a force that shapes reality. Throughout history, societies have thrived or collapsed based on how words were used. Righteous leaders have used their voices to inspire unity, courage, and faith, while corrupt voices have used deception to manipulate, oppress, and control. The digital age has only amplified this. Now, a single message can stir nations, shift economies, or redefine culture. This means we must be intentional about what we say. We must ask ourselves, are my words bringing life or destruction? Moral responsibility in communication means understanding that the internet is not just a space for opinion. It is a space where ideas become actions. It is where young minds are shaped, where movements begin, and where futures are decided. It is easy to believe that words are harmless when spoken behind a screen, but in reality, they carry the same weight as those spoken face to face. A single rumor can ruin a reputation. A careless statement can fuel division. A misleading idea can lead countless people down the wrong path. The responsibility is clear. We must use our words wisely. Integrity in communication means speaking with honesty even when the truth is difficult to hear. It means avoiding exaggeration, resisting the urge to manipulate emotions, and refusing to spread falsehoods for personal gain. It means recognizing that influence is not measured by how many people hear your words, but by whether your words are worth hearing. A truly powerful speech does not seek to entertain, it seeks to enlighten. It does not stir division, it calls for unity. It does not distort reality, it reveals truth. A speech that truly breaks the internet should not be one filled with outrage, controversy, or manipulation, but one that awakens the soul. It should remind people that words are not just sounds or symbols on a screen. They are vessels of meaning, tools of transformation, and weapons for good or evil. In a world where voices are louder than ever, the ones that will stand the test of time are those that speak with wisdom, integrity, and a responsibility to truth. The world today is more connected than ever before, yet it feels increasingly divided. People are separated by politics, race, religion, ideology, and personal beliefs. Arguments spread like wildfire, and division is amplified by the very platforms that claim to bring us together. But what if, instead of using our words to tear each other apart, we use them to build bridges? What if the speech that truly broke the internet was not one of anger or controversy, but one of unity and purpose? True unity is not about making everyone think the same way or forcing people into agreement. It is about recognizing the value of every individual, understanding that differences do not have to mean division, and choosing to focus on what connects us rather than what separates us. History has shown that when people come together for a greater cause, remarkable things happen. Nations are built, movements are born, and lives are transformed. But unity does not happen by accident. It requires effort, humility, and a willingness to listen. In the digital age, it is easy to surround ourselves with voices that only reinforce what we already believe. Social media algorithms show us content that aligns with our opinions, creating echo chambers where opposing views are silenced or ridiculed. This has made real conversation more difficult. Instead of seeking to understand, many seek to prove they are right. Instead of building relationships, many build walls. But unity is not found in winning arguments. It is found in seeking truth together. The internet has the power to unite people across borders, cultures, and backgrounds, but only if we use it wisely. A speech that truly impacts the world must remind people that we are not enemies simply because we disagree. It must challenge the idea that strength comes from proving others wrong and instead highlight that true strength comes from lifting others up. It must show that our shared humanity is greater than our differences. Purpose gives unity its meaning. Coming together is not enough if there is no reason for it. Throughout history, people have united for both good and evil. The difference lies in the purpose behind their unity. A just cause unites people for the betterment of all, while a selfish cause unites people only for personal gain. The most powerful speeches in history have not only called people to come together, but have given them a reason to do so, whether it was for justice, freedom, peace, or faith. A speech that breaks the internet should remind us that our words, actions, and decisions affect more than just ourselves. It should inspire people to rise above pettiness and division, to choose kindness over cruelty, and to embrace the responsibility of using their voices for something greater than themselves. Unity does not mean the absence of differences. It means finding a common purpose that is stronger than those differences. The world does not need more division. It needs voices that call people to something higher, something lasting, something that brings hope. In a world consumed by fleeting trends and viral moments, it is easy to believe that impact is measured by how many people see something rather than by how deeply it changes them. The internet moves fast. What is celebrated today is forgotten tomorrow, and what breaks the internet one moment is replaced by something else the next. But true influence is not about temporary attention. It is about lasting transformation. A speech that truly breaks the internet should not be one that is simply popular for a moment, but one that plants seeds for generations to come. History remembers words that carry weight beyond the moment in which they were spoken. The greatest speeches, those that shaped societies and transformed lives, were not designed for temporary applause. They were rooted in truth, in values that stood the test of time. They were spoken not just to impress, but to inspire, not just to be heard, but to be lived out. The words of Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., and Winston Churchill still resonate today because they were not tied to trends. They were tied to principles that do not fade. Too often, people chase after instant recognition, measuring success by how many views, likes, or shares they receive. But popularity does not equal purpose. Many messages go viral for their shock value, their controversy, or their entertainment, but they do not leave a lasting impact. A speech that truly changes the world is not one that simply makes noise. It is one that carries a message so powerful that it continues to echo long after the moment has passed. Words that endure are words that connect to something greater than the moment. They call people to reflect, to change, and to grow. They challenge falsehoods, inspire action, and provide wisdom that can be passed from one generation to the next. While trends come and go, truth remains. The internet is filled with temporary distractions, but those who speak with purpose create ripples that extend beyond their lifetime. A speech that stands the test of time is one that speaks to the core of human nature. It reminds people of their worth, their responsibility, and their potential. It does not simply entertain, it enlightens. It does not divide, it unites. It does not manipulate, it reveals truth. Such words do not just go viral, they become part of the foundation upon which better futures are built. The real measure of influence is not in the numbers, but in the impact. A speech that breaks the internet should not just be one that people talk about, but one that moves them to live differently. It should not just be heard, it should be carried forward, spoken again and again, and lived out in the actions of those who receive it. The world does not need more noise, it needs voices that speak with purpose, wisdom, and truth. Voices that will not just be remembered for a moment, but will leave a legacy for generations to come. Words have the power to shape minds, transform hearts, and change the course of history. In a world where messages travel faster than ever before, where voices rise and fade in an instant, the true test of a speech is not in how many hear it, but in how many are changed by it. A speech that truly breaks the internet is not one that is loudest, most controversial, or most entertaining. It is one that speaks truth with conviction, wisdom, and purpose. The responsibility of speech has never been greater. The internet has given every person a platform, but it has also created a world where deception spreads as easily as truth, where division is fueled instead of unity, and where temporary recognition is mistaken for true influence. But history does not remember the voices that simply entertained or provoked. It remembers those that called people to something greater. It remembers the words that did not just echo in a moment, but lived on in the actions of those who heard them. Let this be the standard for the words we choose to speak, share, and believe. Let us be voices of truth in a world of confusion, voices of unity in a world of division, and voices of wisdom in a world drowning in noise. Let us speak with moral responsibility, understanding that our words can either build or destroy, heal or harm, unite or divide. A speech that breaks the internet should not just be one that trends, it should be one that transforms. It should not just be heard, it should be lived. It should awaken something deep within the human soul, reminding us that we are not just here to exist, but to leave a mark. Not just here to be heard, but to be remembered for the good we bring. In the end, words that are rooted in truth, spoken with integrity, and driven by purpose will endure far beyond the digital age. They will not fade with time, nor be lost in the sea of meaningless noise. Instead, they will echo through generations, shaping the hearts and minds of those who come after us. That is the true measure of a speech that breaks the internet, not its reach, but its legacy.